Here we're given an expression that has some decimals, and there's also multiple operations. I see a division symbol, I see a multiplication symbol. So in order to simplify this, I need to use the order of operations. So that tells us first to solve what's inside of the parentheses. And we do see two sets of parentheses, but there's no operations going on inside them. It's really just cupping those numbers in parentheses, so you can see that that's a negative sign, not subtraction. The next step is to do the exponents, and there's no exponents. Then you're supposed to do the multiplying or dividing. So it says or dividing. You don't always do the multiplication first. I'm not going to jump to it and multiply these two numbers together because I see multiplication. It's multiplication or dividing, whichever comes first when you look at the problem from the left to the right. So in this case, the division comes first. When I'm reading, the first I see is division. So my first step is to divide these two numbers. So I have negative 1.85, and I'm dividing that by 2.5. So when I write that down, I'm going to put the 2.5 on the outside and the negative 1.85 on the inside. Now, I like to not include positive or negative symbols when I am doing division. I want to look at that and just ask myself, is the answer going to be positive or negative? When you have one number positive and one number negative, that means that our answer is going to be negative. So let's just write down negative and know our answer is going to be negative, but then just divide it as if they are both positive numbers. So our first step when you are dividing decimals is to make the divisor a whole number. So in this case, I have a decimal point that I need to move over to the right one. So I just have a 25. And so if I do that, I need to move this decimal point over to the right one also. So the numbers I'm dividing are actually 25 into 18.5. So let's get to dividing this. So first, 25, does that go into 1? No. Does 25 go into 18? No, it's too big. So does 25 go into 185? Yes. How many 25s? Well, there's 4 25s in 100, 3 25s in 75, so that would be 7 25s. 7 25s is 175. Or if we multiply it, we do the 7 times the 5 gives us 35. So the 5 goes here, and then we carry the 3. 7 times the 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17. So then we subtract to see what's left. 185 minus 175 is 10. So I have a remainder. I want to keep going and see if I can get rid of that remainder. So I need to add a number. What number would that be next to this 5? So I have something to bring down. It would be a 0. We can add as many zeros as we want after this. Let's just start with 1 and pull that down. So now we have 25. How many times does 25 go into 100? 25 goes into 100 4 times. So 4 times 5 is 0, or is 20. So I put a 0 there, carry the 2. 4 times 2 is 8, plus that 2 I carried is a 10. So I have a remainder of 0, so we're done. We don't need those extra zeros. Now, where does the decimal point go in our answer? It goes straight up from where it is. So we're going to put it right here. So when I divide this, I get negative, because a negative divided by positive is negative, 0.74. And now I'm going to multiply that by negative 5.3. Now I can do the multiplication. So let's write that down, one on top of the other. You always put the number that has the most digits on the top. And then let's start multiplying this. So 4 times 3 is 12. So 2 goes here, carry the 1. 7 times 3 is 21, plus another 1 is 22. So 2 here, carry the 2. 0 times 3 is 0, plus 2 is 2. Now let's do the same with the 5. So 5 times 4 is 20. We always start off our second row with 1 0 here, but 5 times 4 is 20, so put the 0 here and carry the 2. I'm going to erase the ones I carried from my previous multiplication. Then 7 times 5 is 35, plus 2 is 37. So I'll put the 7 here and carry the 3. And 0 times 5 is 0, plus 3 is 3. Now that we've multiplied the 0.74 by the 3 and then also the 5, we add those together and we get 2, 2, 9, 3. And our very last step is to figure out where the decimal point goes. So you look at the two numbers that you multiplied and how many places there are to the right of the decimal in total. And there's 1, 2, 3. So there has to be 3 places to the right of the decimal in our answer. 1, 2, 3. So our answer will be 3.922. The last thing you have to ask yourself, is this going to be a positive or a negative? And in this case, we were multiplying a negative times a negative. And a negative times a negative is always going to be positive.